everyone, welcome back to GK Today. I am Vyas Samman and in this video we'll cover the current affairs. Before we move ahead, let me inform you that these questions are part of our daily 20 MCQ series 2022 in the GK Today's Android application. So if you are looking for the text version of these questions and their explanations along with the interactive quiz, you may consider joining our daily 20 MCQ series in the GK Today Android application. In this course in app, you get daily 20 MCQs, a fortnightly quiz, a monthly revision document, and also category-wise revision e-books that are optimized for reading on mobile. You are also able to access all archives of questions from January 2020 onwards. And let me tell you one more thing. If you want the Hindi version of this session, you can refer to our former channel named as GK Today. The link has been given in the description box from where you can reach to. So without taking much of your time, let's get started. Good morning everyone. Welcome back to GK Today. And today we'll be discussing most important MCQs for 31st of August 2022. Let's start. What is the name of the new model of sustainable development of the rivers that have been proposed by the Indian government? So the Chief of National Mission for Clean Ganga recently mentioned about the Earth Ganga model during his address to the Stockholm World Water Week 2022. Okay, and it is a kind of new model of sustainable development of the rivers which aims to connect the people with the river through economy. And the Earth Ganga initiative strives to contribute at least 3% of the GDP from the Ganga basin. Fine. And its verticals include zero budget natural farming, monetization and reuse of the sludge and wastewater, livelihood generation, public participation and tourism. Fine. So the name of this new model of sustainable development of rivers is Earth Ganga. And talking about the World Water Week, recently we have organized this week from 23rd of August to 1st of September. Okay. And what was the theme for this year? This year theme was Seeing the Unseen, the Value of Water. Okay. And it is a kind of movement that is aimed at transforming the global water challenges. You have to tell me, when do we observe the World Water Day and what was the theme for the year 2022? Do let me know in the comments. Next is the National Sports Day or Rashtriya Khel Divas is celebrated to commemorate the birth anniversary of which important sports person? So National Sports Day, or you can say Rashtriya Khel Divas, is celebrated to commemorate the birth anniversary of Major Dhyan Chand, who is the hockey wizard of India. And it is an annual observance that falls on 29th of August. What is the aim? To create awareness about the needs and the benefits of incorporating the sports and physical activities into our day-to-day life. So Major Dhyan Chand played a key role in India's gold medal victory at the Olympics in 1928, 1932 and in 1936. Fine. So you can be asked that when do we observe the National Sports Day? Answer would be 29th of August. To pay tribute to whom? Answer would be Major Dhyan Chand. The 300 meters long Atal Bridge for pedestrians and cyclists has been inaugurated in which city? So Prime Minister Narendra Modi has recently inaugurated this 300 meters long Atal Bridge for the pedestrians and the cyclists across the Sabarmati river in the state of Gujarat. Okay, and this Atal Bridge connects the two banks of Sabarmati river with the design inspired by the famous kite festival. This is something similar to kite. And Prime Minister Modi has inaugurated this bridge from the Khadi Utsav event. Okay, and we have talked about the Khadi Utsav in our previous lecture in a detailed manner, if you remember, right? Linthoi Channambam, who was seen in the news recently, is associated with which sport? So recently she has scripted the history by winning India's first ever medal in the Judo World Championships with gold in the women's 57 kgs category. Okay, and she is just 15-year-old And from which state she belonged to? She is from the state Manipur. Okay. So don't forget that she is the very first Indian judoka to win a medal at any age group category of the World Championships. And also she is part of the Indian government's TOPS program. Fine. So she is related to judo. Fine. The presence of king cobras has been confirmed in which Indian state or the union territory for the very first time? So presence of king cobras has been confirmed for the very first time in the state of Chhattisgarh, and there was no evidence of this snake in Chhattisgarh or in any parts of central India before this. But now 31 nesting spots of king cobras have been confirmed in the Korba forest range. So International Union for the Conservation of Nature, means IUCN Red List, has declared it as vulnerable, and the discovery of the species has now raised the questions on how climate change might impact this species, right? So recently we have found the king cobras in Chhattisgarh state. How many tribal districts have been selected for focused interventions to eradicate TB? So Ministry of Tribal Affairs and the Central TB Division of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare have now selected 75 tribal districts for focused interventions to eradicate tuberculosis. Okay, and this decision has been taken after door-to-door TB screening of over 68,000 villages in the tribal district held over the past 6 months. Fine. So total 75 tribal districts have been selected. Don't forget that World Tuberculosis Day is observed every year on 24th of March. And what was the theme for the year 2022? It was Invest to End TB, Save Lives. Fine. Next is India signed a memorandum of understanding with which country on interim water of the Kushiara River? So India and Bangladesh held the meeting of the Joint Rivers Commission in New Delhi, where the countries finalized the memorandum of understanding on the interim water of Kushiara River. And this meeting was held after 12 years of long gap, according to a statement released by the Ministry of Jal Shakti. And both sides welcomed the finalization of the design and the location of the water intake point on the Feni River to meet the drinking water needs of Tripura's Sabroom town. Okay. So we have signed this MOU with the country Bangladesh. Which country has spotted carbon dioxide in the atmosphere of an exoplanet? So the James Webb Space Telescope has recently spotted the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere of a planet in another solar system. And this finding marks the first detailed scientific result that have been published from the new telescope, and also it shows the new possibilities of finding the same greenhouse gas in the atmosphere of smaller or rockier planets that are very similar to our planet Earth. Okay, so recently USA has spotted carbon dioxide in the atmosphere of an exoplanet. Who is the first Indian sports person to clinch the prestigious Diamond League meet title? So very famous Tokyo Olympic gold medalist Neeraj Chopra has won the javelin throw competition at the Lausanne Diamond League. Okay, and with the best throw of 89.08 meters, he became the first Indian to clinch the prestigious Diamond League meet title. Okay, and this league is an annual series of elite track and field athletic competitions. So now he has been qualified for the Diamond League finals at Switzerland, and also he qualified for the 2023 World Championships. Fine. So this is Neeraj Chopra. Dr. Asghar Wajahat, who was conferred with the Vyas Samman Award, is a writer of which language? So the 31st Vyas Samman Award was conferred to Hindi writer Dr. Asghar Wajahat in New Delhi. Okay, and he has been chosen for the prestigious award for his play Mahabali, that focuses on Mughal Emperor Akbar and poet Tulsidas. Okay. So this Vyas Samman is given by K.K. Birla Foundations for outstanding literary work in Hindi, authored by an Indian citizen, published during the last 10 years. Fine. So recently, this Vyas Samman Award has been conferred to Dr. Asghar Wajahat, and he is a Hindi writer. Vajra Prahar 2022 is a defense exercise held between India and which other country? So the 13th edition of India-US Joint Special Forces exercise Vajra Prahar 2022 was carried out at Baklo in Himachal Pradesh. And this exercise includes training in airborne operations, special operations, counter-terrorism operations, etc. And this annual exercise is hosted alternatively between India and the US, and the last edition means its 12th edition was conducted at Washington in USA in 2021. This is not very relevant. Two things can be asked from this question. Vajra Prahar is the exercise between which two countries? Answer would be India and the USA. And what is the venue for the year 2022? This is Baklo, Himachal Pradesh. Okay. Can you tell me what was the venue for Al Najah joint drill? And also don't forget to tell me this is the joint drill between which two countries? Do let me know in the comments. Next is, which racing driver clinched the Formula 1 Belgian Grand Prix title? So Red Bull's Dutch driver and reigning Formula 1 world champion Max Verstappen won the Belgian Grand Prix. And he won the race despite starting the race from 14th place on the grid. And Mexican racing driver Sergio Perez was at the second position, while Carlos Sainz was at the third place. Fine. So these were the most important current affairs and the news from today. And now we'll move on to our revision section. So which three categories we are covering today? First of all, we'll see important ministries that were in news. After that, we'll come to recent appointments, and at last we'll revise important grand prixes. Fine. So let's see some of the important ministries that were in news. Union Health Ministry has partnered with which general insurance company to help create digital health IDs? So Union Health Ministry has partnered with Edelweiss General Insurance to help create the digital health IDs for all in the country. And Ayushman Bharat Health Accounts is a 14-digit number that help the users to share and access their health records digitally with registered healthcare providers. Fine. Finance Ministry has made unauthorized publication of which data as compoundable offence? So recently, Central Board of Indirect Taxes and the Customs has announced 1 lakh rupees penalty for the offence under Section 135 Amendment Act of the Customs Act. And this section basically prohibits unauthorized publication of import-export data. Okay, so correct answer would be import-export data. What is Azadi Quest, which was launched recently by the Ministry of Information and the Broadcasting? So Union Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, the minister of which is Mr. Anurag Singh Thakur, launched the Azadi Quest in New Delhi, and this is a kind of educational mobile games. Okay, and aim is to highlight the story of India's freedom struggle, and these games have been developed in collaboration with Zynga India. Competition Commission of India is a statutory body under which Union Ministry? So Competition Commission of India works under Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and recently it has summoned online food aggregator like Zomato and Swiggy and the cab aggregators Ola and Uber on monopoly in the market and anti-competitive activities. Okay, so what is the responsibility of Competition Commission of India? So as to promote competition and fair competition. Fine. Which union ministry is associated with Gramin Udyami project? So Ministry of Skill Development is associated with Gramin Udyami project, and it is a kind of multi-skilling project that is funded by National Skill Development Corporation, and aim of which is to train 450 tribal students in Madhya Pradesh and in Jharkhand. Okay. So recently NSDC in collaboration with Seva Bharati and Yuva Vikas Society has launched second phase of Grameen Udyami project. Fine. Which Union Ministry implements Namaste Central Sector Scheme? So this Namaste Central Sector Scheme is implemented by Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment in collaboration with Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. What is the aim of this scheme? To ensure safety and dignity of our sanitation workers. Okay, so these are the few important ministries that have to be revised. Now let's see a few important and the recent appointments. Which Indian economist has been appointed as the Executive Director for India at the International Monetary Fund? This is K. Subramanian. Who has been appointed as the new chairman of Defence Research and the Development Organization in 2022? So now onwards, our new chairman of DRDO is Samir V. Kamath. Which Indian has been appointed to the United Nations Internet Governance Forum Leadership Panel? This is Alkesh Kumar Sharma. Which financial services company has appointed 4 Indian badminton stars as its ambassador? So recently MasterCard has appointed 4 Indian badminton stars as its brand ambassador. And who are these Indian badminton stars? First is Lakshya Sen, second is Kidambi Shrikant, third is Satvik Siraj Ranki Reddy, and fourth is Chirag Shetty. Okay. Who has been appointed as the Managing Director of the National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development? This is Rashkiran Rai G. Who has been appointed as the Chief Justice of India after Chief Justice N.V. Ramana? This is Mr. Uday Umesh Lalit. Who was appointed as the first woman chief of the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research? So the first woman chief of CSIR is Dr. N. Kalai Selvi. Fine. Now let's revise our important Grand Prixes. Which racing driver clinched the Formula 1 Belgian Grand Prix title? Just we have talked about it. Answer would be Max Verstappen. Which racing driver won the 2022 Hungarian Grand Prix title? This is again Max Verstappen. Which racing driver won the French Grand Prix 2022? Once again the answer is Max Verstappen. Which racing driver won the Austrian Grand Prix 2022 title? It was won by Charles Leclerc. Which racing driver won the British Grand Prix 2022? Answer would be Carlos Sainz. Which racing driver won the 2022 Canadian Grand Prix? This is Max Verstappen. Which racing driver won the Azerbaijan Formula 1 Grand Prix title in 2022? Again Max Verstappen. Which racing driver won the Monaco Grand Prix title? This was won by Sergio Perez. Okay. And if we talk about few other Grand Prixes, then another is Spanish Grand Prix 2022. It was won by Max Verstappen. Another Grand Prix that was won by the Max Verstappen is Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And next is Australian Grand Prix. It was won by Charles Leclerc. Fine. And one last is the Bahrain Grand Prix. It was won by Charles Leclerc. Fine. So this is the list of all the Grand Prixes that have been held in 2022, and question cannot be asked beyond that. Fine. Now let's start with today's quiz. Here on the slide you can see 5 questions which have been taken from the past 2-3 days current affairs. Pause the video and try to solve each of these questions, and at the end of the lecture do not forget to share your scores in the comment section. So please be honest and do not cheat with yourself. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked the session. These were the important news and events from today, and we will meet again tomorrow with some more important current affairs. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, Minuzhat Sana signing off.